ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। When we are studying this personality chart in the class, I'll be trying to cover as many different aspects as possible within a given period of time that we have, which I feel it is more than enough. 11 days is good time that we have. But however, from one angle it is not enough. From another angle, we'll say it is enough time. So we'll be trying to see as many angles as possible. Now, when you are trying to apply that into your life, you got to make certain modifications to it. Now, don't try to take all the facets of it. Try and focus one or two aspects of each dimension of life. So as it is, we are having about 7 points. Each point has 3 aspects. So totally you have got 21 points in fact. Now in every point you were to have 2 ideas for you to work on, you will be having how many to work on? You will have 42 aspects of your life to work on, whether to improve it, make it better, or try to avoid it, or try to eliminate it. So if you try to apply, this is where rationing is very, very important, we say. And that's not easy to achieve. How much of knowledge is enough? How much if I give that's sufficient for you? I have no idea. So it's not that with fully aware of what is your requirement I am providing. In fact, there's no such thing. I'm just saying whatever comes in my mind, that's it. Whatever strikes my eyes, I just speak on that. That's about it. So don't try to see all that put together. If you try to see all put together, you can never improve. You would get more depressed and more dejected. But for your benefit, I'm saying, because when I started working on my chart, this is what I did, and that helped me to work on. You see, so take 1 or 2 aspects of every dimension of life, whether it is sattvic knowledge, rajasic knowledge, tamasic knowledge. You, for your understanding purpose, you can have 3-4 points. But for you to work on, don't take 3-4 points, because if you take 3-4 points, what will happen is you will land up with 3, it goes another 21. 4, each one you have to have 4 points, then you have to work on 82 aspects of your personality. 82 aspects of your life you got to work on. The very thought of it, you will get demotivated completely. So we say don't work like that. Work on 1 or 2 aspects. Say sattvic action. What is sattvic action, sir? Effortless. Action performed effortlessly. Rajasic action, what? Effortful, with so much of strain. There's a lot of strain involved in the activity. Then how do you understand tamasic action? No resistance to obligatory action. This is one way of going. So you understand, you take one aspect and try to spread it to all the 3. Even though when I say take 1 or 2 aspects, I say take the similar one to all 3. Otherwise, it will be difficult for you to work on. So the long and short of it is, try to reduce the number of items for you to work on, at least to start with. My assumption is you're going to start your work only from now on. That's my assumption on which I'm speaking. There may be few people who have been working on it for a long period of time. Now for them, it is a different equation. For those who say that, no, sir, I'm going to be working on my personality chart for the first time, and I'm doing that only for making certain developments for my growth. So I'm going to keep this as a map for me to define my spiritual effort, direct my efforts. Then this will be of some use. So don't take too many things. But however, when I'm explaining, I will be touching so many ideas. I'll go from here, there, all those things. Many times there is a good possibility that I can deviate also. I don't know. So in the flow of talk, there is a possibility. I'm trying my best not to, move too far away. But at the same time, there is always a chance that may be moving. So sometimes you may not be able to make a connection. So it's not your fault, please. Invariably, all of us have, one thing. If you don't understand what I'm speaking, you will never say I am blabbering. You will say what? Such a subtle ideas he is talking about. The fellow is talking something away from the reference. You see, but we always give the benefit of doubt to this advantage on which I have been living for the last 25 years. Benefit of doubt is always given to me. So don't do that, please. This is a chart that you got to work on. Remember, it's a very, very important one for you to direct your application. That's why he places this personality chart in the Vedanta Treatise book just before beginning of Practical Vedanta. Practical Vedanta starts next one. Now, 8th chapter, last topic is this personality chart. Why this personality chart is placed there? It's only to give you, define the roadmap first, then start your work. So it is kept under in a very, very critical position. Now, coming to the idea, we have seen what is this knowledge, action, actor. Sattvic actor, Rajasic actor, Tamasic actor. Who is a Tamasic actor, sir? Classical expression of a Tamasic actor is a Dirgha Sutri, he says in the Gita. Dirgha Sutri means stretching the work. That's called a Dirgha Sutri. You want to know Dirgha Sutri, go to Chennai. Take an auto. Right. Depending upon how much he wants to charge, he will go take you around. Labors you call, no? For work. I've seen people doing in terms of construction. See, material and all those things, I will get it. You have to do is what? Bring your labors, do that. Daily wage. You think if you give daily wage means he will do the work? No. He has already decided from you, he is going to take 15,000 rupees. Means he will stretch the work till that 15,000 rupees comes. You give him contract, full contract. He will finish the work in 6 days. You tell him, day labor, I'm going to charge you. We'll say what immediately? You say, stretch the work. Stretching that work to whatever time available. That's called a Tamasic actor. Dirgha Sutri means procrastinating. We'll do later. We'll do later. We'll do later. It will keep stretching. It will keep stretching. It will keep stretching. It'll go on stretching, 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 stretching. Tomorrow is exam. Oh my God. Take the book and read now. That is called Tamasic actor. The classic expression of this. The one who constantly procrastinates. And what does he do, sir? He will decide one thing and do something else. And halfway through doing, he will change. And halfway through change, he will decide for something else. Means there is no coherence, there is no integration. Disintegrated personality is called a tamasic actor. The sattvic actor, who, sir? Then 3C. Sattvic actor, very easy to understand. Calm, cheerful, confident. He is so sure, stemming from his conviction. The one who has a deep conviction, that's called, a person who is confident. When you have conviction, that's called confidence. Without conviction, if you are holding on to, that is called a fanatic. See, so what is he does, sir? Then what is a rajasic actor? Rajasic actor slogs. He really works so hard to get his desires fulfilled. He has a tremendous desire. He wants to fulfill that desire. And in his effort of trying to fulfill that desire, he will encounter a lot of opposition. When he encounters opposition, he turns harmful towards them. He will become violent towards them. That is the nature of rajasic actor. Now remember, there is a difference here. You need to distinguish between, there is a slight difference between tamasic actor and rajasic actor. Tamasic actor is vulgar, violent from the beginning. Rajasic actor is not violent from the beginning. He turns violent halfway through. He will not start from stooping down to wrong things. That's not the starting point of us. But the tamasic actor, start of action means wrong only. First the thought itself, first to move itself is wrong move he will make. He'll stoop down to scrupulousness is the hallmark of these guys. From the beginning. One. Another difference is this rajasic actor, when he turns harmful towards the opposition, after being harmful, he would go back and regret. Rajasic actor. Tamasic actor will go back and boost himself. You see how smart I am, how brilliant I am, how intelligent I am, how this is called business tactics. This is called being assertive. This is to uphold my rights. I stood up for my things. I did this. This is his pattern. Now, first difference is both of them necessarily will encounter opposition. Sattvic actor will never have opposition. So this equation never comes into picture at all. So don't come back and ask this question. Sir, what will Sattvic actor do if he finds an opposition? There is no opposition for him. So this entire equation doesn't come into picture. The scene itself is not there in his life. Whereas this rajasic actor and tamasic actor will encounter opposition, resistance from the world. When how they meet that, both of them will meet Hauser. Both of them will meet by stooping down to lower means to deal with it. Then what is the difference? Then are they same, sir? No, there is a difference. What is the difference, sir? Post Rajasic actor will feel agitated, disturbed. Why that disturbance? From where that disturbance comes? That is where Rajasic intellect comes into picture. See, that's how you establish link. But don't try to keep on linking. Wherever it is very easy to establish a link, I will give. Okay. Don't immediately ask what is the connection between this and that and that. All that link Allah you can do later. But right now, understand. It's easy to understand in this context because it is so obvious. It is too easy to understand. What does this fellow do, sir? He will feel agitated. He will feel disturbed. He will feel guilty. I don't think I should have scolded. He will feel. I don't think I should have abused. Who the Rajasic actor will feel. Tamasic actor, what he will do, sir? He will continue to hold on to this idea that what he did or what she did is something extraordinary. They will be boastful about themselves. You see, you can't just, play with me. I have to stand up to my things. You think, whatever you say, I will keep doing it or what? I'm not going to be passive. I'm not going to be yielding to things. Also, some reasoning he will give, some justifications he will give. Through that justifications and reasonings, what he is going to do, sir? He is going to say his low actions are correct. See, that is called Tamasic actor. And then we move on to this next idea. What is this? Intellect. Intellect also classified under 3 sections. Sattvic intellect, Rajasic intellect, Tamasic intellect. Intellect, you understand here, essentially intellect definition means this. As I told yesterday, there are various levels of understanding these things. So there is no standard, fixation. This is what it is like. There are grades of understanding these ideas. Now, in this context, how you understand intellect? Intellect means the capacity to understand something which is not obvious. That is called intellect. Beyond the obvious, beyond what you see, your eyes report. These are all various parts. Different part. This is different, that is different, this is different, different. But in and through all the different parts, you understand what? It's a clay. This is a clay material. So the value you give for that is what? It's a clay. That's it. Same way. The capacity to see and understand something more than that. Capacity to read, understand something more than what is written. That's what they say. You should learn to read between lines. Between lines, what is there? Blank paper only is there. See? Now, what they are trying to say there is, you should try to see what is beyond. Something which is the essence. Ability to capture that. The swiftness with which you can capture that is called buddhi. It's called intellect. And that intellect is classified under 3 sections. Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic. How that intellect is going to do all those things, sir? Understanding is going to come about only through a particular process, which is called as thinking, reasoning, discriminating. That's why we call intellect as, what is intellect? You ask immediately, you'll say intellect means that which discriminates, thinks, reasons. Why? We will start giving you the action. It's an action, but what it does, sir, with which what you should arrive at, you arrive at a conclusion. What do you conclude? You conclude something more than what is given. You understand something more than what it is. Vidyaranya gives a beautiful example. He says, in the olden days, ladies used to plait their hair. Now I can't even tell, I couldn't see anybody plaited their hair. When they plait their hair, you look at them, you will see only 2 strings. But actually, how many are there? 3. There are 3 strings. Where is the 3rd string? Is it hidden? It's not hidden. You can't say it is being kept inside. It's not like a thread in the thing. No, it's not like that. In a garland, where is a thread, sir? Thread is inside. It's not visible to you. Now you can't say this is invisible. No, it's quite visible. But at the same time, you ask anyone how many you are seeing there. Anyone will say there is only 2. You see 2, but you understand what? There are 3. That capacity is called buddhi. The capacity to understand that which is not obvious. This is the definition given for buddhi. Buddhi, the definition is this. Now, in life, there are so many things which are not obvious. See, what are the things which are not obvious? Anything beyond your physical perception is not obvious. Isn't it? What you see is obvious. What you hear is obvious. What you smell, obvious. What is tasted, obvious. What is touched, obvious. These perceptions are all obvious. That is why the perceptions exist for animals also. Right? Animal also has all these perceptions. So that is available for everybody. But then, through the touch, you understand certain things, right? Isn't it? Through the taste, you understand certain things, right? And there are so many aspects of life beyond the perception itself. With what you are going to transact, with what you are going to deal with, those aspects of life is called intellect. That is where intellect becomes a very, very important equipment for human being. What defines a human as a human is the presence of intellect. Now, what is sattvic intellect, sir? Sattvic intellect understands clearly what is what. First level. You see the rope, understand the rope as rope is sattvic intellect. Rajasic intellect is what, sir? I don't know what is that. Confused. It looks like that, it looks like this, it looks like that also. This looks like this, that, and that also. So many things. It could be this, it could be that, it could be that also. That is called Rajasic intellect. Tamasic intellect, what it does, sir? It clearly understands it's a snake. Sattvic intellect understands clearly it's a rope. Rajasic intellect is confused in understanding what is it. Tamasic intellect clearly understands it's a snake. This is a theoretical understanding. Okay. Theoretically, you keep this in background. So fundamentally, what you have to do, sir? 3 words you have to use: Sattvic intellect, Rajasic intellect, Tamasic intellect. 3 words enough. You will understand entire thing. Clarity, confusion, perversion. Clear understanding, confused in understanding, perverted understanding. This is called. Then comes which field? There they have very many fields of life. In every field of life, you need to have a clear understanding, Sattvic intellect. Confusion in that field, Rajasic intellect. Perverted understanding, Tamasic intellect. Now this is very simple. Now first step we saw is theoretical. 1. Second one we say is how do you simplify it, sir? Having simplified, we go for elaboration, which is what I call as now complicated. First you simplify and then complicate. It doesn't matter. So that any point of time you get too lost, you can trace your steps back and come back and say, now come back to basic. What is it, sir? Clarity means Sattvic intellect. Confused means Rajasic intellect. Perverted means Tamasic intellect. What are the areas? They give 4 prominent areas of life. Right. Remember, these are only examples. Don't take these things to be the total definition of Sattvic intellect, please. No, it's not that. For you to understand this idea, he gives examples. What are the examples they give? First thing, it understands what is path of action, path of renunciation. What is bondage? What is liberation? What is dharma and what is adharma? What to fear and what not to fear. Personally, this is the one which I really liked. First thing which I really liked is this. What to fear and what not to fear. In life, you have to have the clarity. What to fear and what not to fear. Whom to fear. Oh, you have fear. Or you don't have any fear. One group of people say everything is fear in life. Tenali life only for all of us. Kamala Hassan did one movie called Tenali. The character is the fellow will have fear for everything in life. But it's a mental case. You see. No. Nor you should say, I should not fear anything in life. Now, how do you understand, sir, this Sattvic intellect? Rama. Rama is a classic example of that Sattvic intellect. If you see, with no army with supporting him, nobody to support, Rama fearlessly met and fought with Ravana. Mighty Ravana, he fought. With whom, sir? With all this Vanaras. He could have sent a message to Bharata and asked for Bharata to send the Ayodhya army. No army support. All these people. With these people, he is fighting with mighty Ravana. Now you got to read Ramayana to know what is the stature of Ravana. In comparison to that, what is Rama? What he had with him? Nothing. Poor fellow, he didn't even had a proper chariot. So Surya had to come and give him, okay, take my chariot here, chalo, okay, take. Like sometimes, people send car to pick up and drop. You to go for classes, they'll send a car, pick up and drop, like that. Why, feeling so sorry, take it. Like that, the fellow comes and gives him this chariot. This fellow is not having a chariot also with him. Is such a fellow, he fights Ravana fearlessly. Whereas, contrast of that is what, sir? Some drunkard Dobi Wala says something, he banishes his wife. He's so scared of that fellow's word. What is he talking about her? I say, look at the contrast. You see, now most people don't understand that. The contrast. What is the contrast they are trying to demonstrate there, sir? You got to know what to fear and what not to fear in life. What do you fear? God fearing, we say. Bhakti is what, sir? God fearing. Devotion. Definition of devotion is what? God fearing. Why should you be fearing God? Whereas you don't have any fear to pursue the senses. Whereas all these great masters were all so scared of senses. So scared of you, man, they say. Now we don't have any problem in this part. Now we are so scared of the truth. To take to that spiritual path is so fearful. We ask 101 questions. Why, what, this, that, convince me, explain to me. All these things is what? You don't want to take it up. Why? You're so scared. You're so scared to walk the path of truth. Whereas, to walk towards materiality and sensuality is what? Like fish to water we take. There's no problem. So comfortable we are. He says what, sir? Sattvic intellect clearly understands what to fear and what not to fear. And then tamasic intellect is very easy to understand. What is it, sir? Tamasic intellect will fear what ought not to be feared, will not fear what ought to be feared. You see, what to fear and what not to fear. That capacity to understand that. The capacity to understand what is the path of action and what is this path of renunciation. These two things. See, whenever we are discussing these differences, please remember what do the basic thing. Foundation is definition of what is intellect. And where that intellect, what sort of knowledge the intellect will give. Sattvic intellect should produce what knowledge? Sattvic knowledge. What is sattvic knowledge? Unity in diversity. Which means the sattvic intellect which sees the apparent diversity, the superficial diversity, and understands in essence they are not two. That is called a sattvic intellect. It understands the path of action and the path of renunciation are not two. They are not two things. They are the same. It is the same thing. The path of karma and the path of renunciation. What is it, sir? They are not two. It sees them as two in the beginning, but understands what? They are not two. It's the same thing. The capacity to recognize that is called sattvic intellect. It sees that. It sees what to fear and what not to fear. How to operate. Rajasic intellect is confused in terms of, I don't know, should I? Now, don't take a stand that you should never have any fear in life. Remember that. You do require certain legitimate fears. Only when you go for illegitimate, for what to cry, for what you should not cry, for what you get agitated, for what you should not get agitated. You should get agitated. You should get disturbed. For what? This is what intellect is. You should not get agitated. Yes, for what you should not get agitated. You fear certain things in life. You don't fear certain things in life. For what you fear, for what you don't fear, sir. It's not that you should never have any fear in life. Now we think, life means you should not have any fear. Of course, once you grow and evolve to a height, then it doesn't make any difference. But remember, initial stages of spiritual development, you have to understand what to fear and what not to fear. That is why we always study Rama and Krishna together. You should never study Rama and leave it at that. Rama is the starting. Conclusion is Krishna. If you get stuck at that, Rama itself means whole life has gone completely for you. No. Initial stages of your spiritual growth, how you should be, sir. Be like Rama. Later stage is only Krishna. So Krishna, when you reach that position like that, then you will not have any fear. And then, yes, Krishna himself has given what is the quality. First is sign of spiritual development is what? No fear. Fearlessness is the first quality of a spiritual evolution and all that. That is later stage. In the initial stages, what you have to do, sir? You have to have legitimate fears. That is where the sattvic intellect comes into picture. Which is legitimate, which is illegitimate. You see, that distinction, if you can understand, you have sattvic intellect. I don't know, should I fear this or not? That is called rajasic intellect. Sometimes you fear this, sometimes you fear that. That's the meaning of it. When I say confused, it means what, sir? Sometimes it will look like, oh yes, I should fear this. Sometimes you will say what? So much of fear you will have. Like this, lot of these people, when they do this, Shradham and all those things, they'll do all those things. With so much of fear you should do. Why? The moment my father dies, he will get tremendous power. As long as alive, that fellow is powerless guy. But once he dies, what happens, sir? Oh, he gets some tremendous power too. So what to do, sir? You better perform all these things. Otherwise, what will happen? He will come and curse you. This. Another group says what? Why will my father curse me? Now, once he dies, after that, he is not going to look at you as my son. He is going to look at you as a fellow who was indebted to him. You better pay back, he will say. So many angles, so many ways of looking at it. This is called Sattvic intellect. It understands from very many angles of it and then arrives at a conclusion. Whereas Rajasic intellect gets totally confused. Sometimes this looks correct, sometimes that looks correct. Sometimes we think, wow, why did I? What is done in the past will look wrong in the present. And whatever you did wrong, what you thought wrong in the past will look correct now. Whatever you thought in the past as correct will appear wrong now. And then what? Immediately you take a stand. Okay, what is correct now? Reverse. Ulta of that you have to do now. So what do? You start doing the opposite. After a period of time, what you will say? No. I think the first one, what we did is the correct way of doing it. Now you don't know what to do. Now we say what? We invented car, invented petrol, started using petrol. Suddenly, what are you saying now? You can't be abusing the natural resources. So, what you should do? Find alternative. What is alternative, sir? Now we think what we are going to find alternative is correct, because that's exactly what about 200 years back they thought. What they thought as a development, what we are calling today is what? Using engine, using coal and making train is considered as what? Something extraordinary. And when I see these old movies, that movies and all we'll see. Great train robbery. You see the train going speed. Looks like, for this speed, why they are struggling so much here? To catch the train. It's going so slow only actually. But that itself was looking extraordinary for those people at that time. And then what happened? Today we started saying what? That's wrong. After a period of time, what happens, sir? What we are doing now becomes wrong then. Now, this is where we have come to one conclusion now. What is the conclusion, sir? There is no such thing called right and wrong. You see that? What is the conclusion? Final conclusion is what? No such thing as right and wrong, sir. Everything is what? Everything is it's a matter of convenience. This is what we studied earlier. If Rajas continues for a period of time, it will not stay in Rajas, it will fall back to Tamas. Where have you fallen now? Nothing is right and nothing is wrong. So, on what basis you will decide which is right? Anything which is convenient to me is correct. Anything which is not convenient for me is wrong. Anything that is productive for me, beneficial to me is correct. Anything which is not for my advantage, not for my benefit is wrong. Problem solved. This perversion is called tamas. Now, sattva also will say what? There is no such thing. What is it, sir? In sattva, we'll say what? Vedanta also says the same thing. That is what most of us think. Vedanta also, I am also arriving at the same conclusion. Vedanta and me are in the same position, sir. Correct? What is correct? Vedanta also keeps on telling what? It is not the action that matters. Isn't it? It is not action that matters. Then what matters, sir? What matters is only your attitude. It is not what you do in life. It is how you do. So therefore, what is essential in life? It is not action. So therefore, right and wrong action, there's no such thing as right and wrong action. Same thing is what Vedanta also saying. No, Vedanta is not saying that, please. Vedanta says there is no right and wrong. For whom? Action does not matter. For whom? Who can take a stand stating there is no such thing called right and wrong? To whom it is applicable? That question you have to answer. Without answering that question, if you proceed, this is called lack of sattvic intellect. This is what we call as reflection in Vedanta. You reflect, you think. For whom it is correct, for whom it is wrong. Who is right and who is wrong? Nobody is right, nobody is wrong. Then there is no concept of right and wrong in life, is it? Then where does right comes into picture? Who can afford to take a stand? This is where we go back to the basic idea. When you are in the spiritual path, it does not matter what you do. If you are not in the path, meaning if you are not performing your obligatory actions, meaning if you are not going to be performing action as oblation to realization, don't ask me to repeat. It came very well today. Nice. Right. I'm also struggling now. I was thinking, it came very well. No, there. Thinking, correct. Yes. See, for a person who is performing obligations, means what? The one who is oblating his action, that is called obligation. Obligation means what, sir? Obligation means act of oblation. It's called obligation, offering. When you are performing your action as oblation to growth, to realization, then it does not matter what you do. Okay. When you are not doing your actions as oblation to realization, then you can't take that stand. This understanding is called sattvic buddhi. Who can take a stand to say what is right and what is wrong? Right and wrong. Who decides? How right and wrong is decided, sir? Who can afford to take a stand that I don't? Then you can fit in this idea. What is spiritual path, sir? The path devoid of merit and demerit. The path beyond punya and apunya, says Shankara. Punya, apunya, vivarchita pantha. It's different from punya and papa. It is neither good nor bad. It doesn't make any difference what you are doing. Who can say it doesn't matter what? Same thing is what the tamasic fellow also will say. It doesn't matter here. Just do it. Why? It's convenient. He says it doesn't matter in the field of his convenience. Because of convenience, he will say that. Whereas sattvic intellect will say, because it is performed as oblation, now connected to path of action and path of renunciation. What doesn't make any difference whether you are yogaratova, bhogaratova, sangaratova, sangavihina. Doesn't make any difference. Who can say that, sir? Who says that, sir? Only a sattvic intellect, that intellect which understands what is what. The sattvic intellect understands the path clearly. Rajasic intellect is confused. He is confused in terms of what is my obligation. Am I to do this? Am I to do that? And he thinks there is worldly obligations and there are spiritual obligations. So what he does, sometimes he will perform worldly obligations, sometimes he will perform spiritual obligations. And when he is performing worldly obligations, he thinks of spiritual obligations, and he confuses spiritual obligations with worldly obligations. So much of overlapping and so much of confusion. That is called Rajasic intellect. Tamasic intellect, no problem. He will boil down everything to convenience. It's very simple for him. Reasonings are very simple for him. Like many of us say, you want to do, do here. If you don't want to do, don't do. Forget it. So what is your, why are you complicating? This is called a tamasic intellect. A lot of people tell me this, Ishwaran, my father, lives exactly what you say. Tamasic fellow. I know him. So I know he is tamas. Why? Convenience. Anything convenient he will do. Today, this is not convenient for him. Therefore, he is not doing it. Tomorrow, if that opposite becomes more convenient, he will go with that also. Everything is boiled down to only one idea. Convenience. There is a confusion. The Sattvic intellect understands clearly what is dharma and what is adharma. Beautiful concept. One of the important dimensions of Sattvic intellect. What is dharma and what is adharma. Rajasic intellect will call sometimes it will call dharma as dharma. Sometimes adharma will look like dharma. Sometimes dharma will look like adharma. Adharma will look like adharma. This I can repeat because this is close to me. Rajasic intellect. There's no problem. Rajasic intellect, dharma, adharma, what's that? Sometimes dharma will look like dharma. Sometimes dharma will look like adharma. Adharma will look like dharma. And adharma will look like adharma. Therefore, what is it, sir? Total chaos. This fellow, Rajasic intellect, total confusion, this fellow. Classic example is Arjuna. Hey, don't confuse me here, he says. And he thinks Krishna is confusing him. That's the best part. Hey, you are confusing me, he says. He is confused. And that fellow calls Arjuna, Krishna confused. He is confusing. Tamasic intellect is what, sir? He has no all these problems. He understands clearly adharma as dharma, dharma as adharma. That's all. This absolute clarity. Only thing is what? Ulta. That's all. He takes adharma to be dharma and dharma to be adharma. Beautiful idea. This what is dharma and what is adharma. Now Ramayana you read. Rama's character right through, if you see, every situation in his life, he would ask only one question. What is dharma? What is dharma here? What is dharma? What is my dharma? What is my dharma? That inquiry. What is my dharma? What is my dharma? This dharma analysis is being done at the highest level. Now, straight away, most of us cannot have that understanding. That is why we surrender to the scriptures, to a guru, and take their instructions. That is how do you build it? That is a different aspect. Now, how do you build a Sattvic intellect? If you ask, that is a different question. So that's not the purview of analysis here. Okay. That we can do separately. Next step, we can do that analysis also. But however, right now the focus is not on that. The focus is Sattvic intellect will see dharma and adharma clearly. What is dharma? Sir? What is adharma? This is where the confusion for all of us. That is where they say the scriptures were speaking only to a Rajasic intellect. For a Tamasic intellect, scriptures don't exist. Sattvic intellect, not required. Sattvic intellect, it's not required for him because he knows. Tamasic intellect, no point. You will be wasting your time. Rajasic intellect is confused intellect. So that Rajasic intellect can be instructed, can be educated. So through a proper instruction and proper education, the Rajasic intellect can be transformed into Sattvic intellect. That is possible through proper education, proper knowledge. That proper knowledge is what the scriptures give. What is Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic? By studying this Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic from various angles, from various dimensions of life, is how you will be building Sattvic intellect. Remember. How do you build Sattvic intellect, sir? Through this only. 11 days. What are you doing, sir? Building Sattvic intellect. Trying to understand from different angles of it. Action, Sattvic action, Rajasic action, Tamasic action, Sattvic actor. Through this education, what happens? Slowly that clarity starts coming in. More and more when you stay, more and more you study, it seeps in. Through that, you would be able to recognize and register what is Sattvic intellect. Then application will happen. Every field you can apply. What is health? What is ill health? Right? Who is a healthy person? Our concept of healthy food, unhealthy food. Our concept of healthy, what is rich? What is poverty? Who is rich and who is poor? Clear understanding of it. Confused understanding of that is what? Rajas. Tamasic fellow takes opposite. Tamasic fellow takes what? Rich man means anybody who lives in a big bungalow, he will take it as a rich man. Poor fellow means a fellow who is living in a single bedroom. He'll say, he is a poor fellow, sir. Poverty and richness has got nothing to do with the quantum. He will never understand that. Then it is to do with what, sir? The Sattvic intellect understands poverty and richness is nothing to do with the quantum of wealth that you have. It is in proportion to your thing. This is where we study the feel of richness or rich. You can have everything. You may still feel poor within. Internally, you may still feel poverty. What will give me security? Do you have a clarity? What gives a real security in life? Which is a true insurance to life? Okay. What should I leave to my next generation? Next generation, what do you leave? You die and go. What do you leave and go for them? You know only one thing to leave. What? Property. Anyway, they will take it. You don't have to leave. Isn't it? What else you are going to leave? What else you know that you are supposed to leave and go for them? That penetrative understanding. What that is going to be actually protecting my family. What protects? That is called dharma. What is that, sir? Dharma. It is dharma that protects. Now we think security and protection is from where, sir? We think security I'm going to get from more money. If I give, you will feel more secure. More if I have, I feel more secure. How much ever you can have. The security has got nothing to do with all these things. What protects you is dharma. What are you doing for that, sir? That ability to connect between my understanding and my action. That is called sattvic intellect. Rajasic intellect is confused. Tamasic intellect clearly keeps those two things in two different compartments. My understandings are different. Life is different. When I go to temple, I am a bhakta. When I come out of temple, what I am? A different fellow. That is why even a thief goes and does prayer. No. Have you seen? You know that. The thief also prays. Before he opens a locker, he prays to God. What is that? You call him as a great devotee. What is devotion then? He keeps them in two different compartments. Rajasic fellow is totally confused between, he keeps running up and down between material and spiritual, material, spiritual, material, spiritual. Right? He confuses between the two. Sattvic intellect understands clearly there is no such thing as material and spiritual. I convert everything to spiritual. Or everything is material. Only two options. Either you say everything spiritual or you say everything material. That's it. There is no in between. This is sattvic intellect. The intellect that clearly understands what is dharma and what is adharma. See, dharma and adharma, before you can understand, the application dimension of dharma and adharma is what we would call as swadharma and paradharma. The application aspect of dharma and adharma, righteous and unrighteous. No, that's a very, very superficial understanding of dharma, adharma. There's a deeper understanding of dharma and adharma. And then application of that dharma and adharma. All that sattvic intellect understands. Rajasic intellect gets confused with all this. Tamasic intellect understands opposite. So when it comes to intellect, pay more attention to sattvic intellect. From there, you can easily derive Rajasic and Tamasic. Instead of coming from there to here, with reference to intellect, how you should move, sir. Move from here to there. Like I was telling you, knowledge, don't start from sattvic knowledge. Start from tamasic knowledge, derive sattvic. Start from rajasic knowledge, derive sattvic. Intellect, what you should do, sir, do the opposite here. Here, what you should do, try to understand sattvic intellect. From there, you derive rajasic and tamasic intellect. So sattvic intellect understands what, sir? It understands dharma and adharma. Means what, sir? It understands the application of dharma and adharma. Where in the field of swadharma, paradharma. So what is this swadharma, paradharma? Swa means one's own. Dharma, nature. Swadharma. Para means alien. Dharma means nature. Alien nature. what is my nature and what is my alien nature. It clearly understands. What do you mean? What is Swadharma? What is Paradharma? Then comes analysis in that. Like action, we saw, no? Layers of understanding of action. This is karma, this is vikarma, this is obligation, kamya karma, this is decided, this is obligatory. Obligatory has different dimensions, this has different dimensions. Then there is, vikarma, which you are not supposed to do, all that. And then the foundation of this, gahana karmano gati, says, my God, so much is there here in understanding of what is action. The sattvic intellect penetrates through all that and understands. Similarly, this dharma, swadharma, paradharma also it understands with penetration. Because if you have to apply your sattvic intellect, you got to start your work from one step. From where you can easily start, sir. Easiest way to start, Krishna says in the Gita, is Swadharme Nidhanam Shreya. He says, Swadharma gives you Shreyas. So that's the thumb rule. So dharma, if I have to understand what is good for me and what is bad for me, what is beneficial for me, what is not beneficial for me, what is higher and lower, I have to understand with reference to what, sir? I have to understand with reference to my Swadharma only. In Swadharma, what is my Swadharma? What is it that I am going to call as my nature? Are you going to say, whatever you like, you call it Swadharma? It's a very, then it is career consultancy, isn't it? You have an aptitude for engineering, take up engineering. You have an aptitude for accountancy, take up accountancy. You have an aptitude for sports, take up sports. That's career consultancy. You think Krishna is going to give career consultancy or what? No. He's talking about your life, not about your career. Then how are you to understand that ideas? Now, sattvic intellect understands clearly what is the difference between this and that. Why? So that I can choose Swadharma, avoid Paradharma. That's the meaning of it. Understanding Swadharma, Paradharma means what? Means, why should you understand? Why should you understand what is liberation, what is bondage? What causes me bondage? For what you have to understand that? So that you can avoid bondage and move towards liberation. What to fear, what not to fear. You have to understand so that you know what to fear. You can fear. You can avoid what ought not to be feared. You don't fear that. That's the foundation, no, to understand all these things. Now, if you have to do this, you say that I have to do my obligations, if I have to do my duty, if I have to do this, if I have to live my life, you need to understand what is Swadharma, what is Paradharma. If you don't understand what is Swadharma, what is Paradharma, if you are confused about it, your life is confused. If you misunderstand, sattvic intellect, understanding. Tamasic intellect is what, sir? Misunderstanding. Rajasic intellect, not understanding. It's not understanding what is what. Now, this is why sattvic intellect is very, very important. Whenever we use the word intellect in Vedanta, we mean sattvic intellect. Remember that. When you say you got to build your intellect, when you say you got to build what intellect, sir? Sattvic intellect. Now, the sattvic intellect understands very many aspects. All these are all only examples. Okay. Now, how deeper you are able to understand those each concepts will define the depth and the strength of your intellect. But however, sattvic intellect means that, rajasic intellect means this, tamasic intellect means that. One word, go back to that one word: clarity, confusion, perversion. More we'll see tomorrow. Hari Om.